The Central Bank of Nigeria has announced the launch of a cash swap program for rural and underserved areas, which takes effect from Monday, January the 23rd, 2023. This was disclosed in a circular by the CBN on Friday evening to all deposit money banks, mobile money operators and super agents. CBN stated that agents shall exchange a maximum of 10,000 Naira per person. The Apex Bank noted that in furtherance of its Naira redesign policy to sustain this nationwide awareness program and full speedy collection of the new notes at CBN branches by deposit money banks and mandated issuance of the new notes through automated teller machines to ensure distribution is fair, transparent and evenly spread across the country. Now, joining us live to discuss this, we have economist and tax manager at PwC, Kayode Ali joins in from Lagos. A warm welcome to you.
Thank you for having me, Benga.
Now, how effective will this CBN currency swap process be in Nigeria's rural communities?
Okay, so if you consider it, the fact that we don't have lots of bank branches in rural communities, right? And for these individuals to access the bank, they have to travel over long distances just to access banks, right? And there is a tight deadline that we have. So I do think that the impact of these mobile money agents in assisting to reach these nook and crannies will help to a large extent, considering that based on the last data that the CBN rolled out, we have about 1.4 million mobile money agents. So I do think to a reasonable extent, it will help in ensuring that there is that compliance in changing the old notes before the deadline. I do think it will go to a great extent in helping.
Do you think the deadline will be extended? Because there are lots of people that are complaining that ATMs are still dispensing old notes in different parts of Nigeria. Do you foresee any improvement as the last 9 days of the deadline approaches?
Yeah, so Benga, I actually do think to a reasonable extent, if the CBN is actually for people, they might listen to the pleas of individuals at this point in time. Because currently the CBN has its officials monitoring the state of things, right? And like you rightly said, most of these banks are still bringing out old currencies in their ATM. Right. So I do think that to some extent they might be considering it after this monitoring is over, which is expected to end today. And to be honest, you know, the Nigerian syndrome of going for things at the late hour.
Fire brigade approach.
Yes. But later they should.
Now, Biodun, let's talk about the economic impact of the Naira redesign. Do Nigerians have anything to be worried about?
Okay, so with respect to the economic impact, right, in terms of inflation, because inflation is one of the things that the CBN said is the reason why they are doing this, right, because every time they want to stem inflation, they make adjustments to the monetary policy rate. And if they are unable to control it, I mean, because one thing we've seen is that there's complaint that they probably are not making so much impact because of the money outside the bank vaults, right? So to that extent, it might have an impact, right? But all the same, the inflation we suffer in Nigeria is actually driven by productivity and not necessarily as a result of too much money in circulation. So from those angles, I think maybe not too much of an impact in my own view, to be honest. But in terms of security features, I do think it can help, and these also have their economic impacts.
Now, Biodun, finally, before I let you go, one of the areas that was highlighted is the inadequate sensitization for citizens on the new notes. Some people were actually rejecting it. Some say, you know, the note is fake and all of that. How better next time should the CBN partner with relevant agencies for future purposes to ensure that there's enough sensitization?
Well, I think one thing they need to do is to identify, especially in the rural communities, right? Because one thing that seems to have happened is that the CBN has actually been paying more attention to the cities than rural areas. I think what it can do next time is probably discuss with traditional rulers or leaders of communities and pour out, get agents as well as adverts, probably in local languages, in such a way that it gets down to the common man, right? Such that they can easily accept this money. So these are some of the things I think they can do. Reach out to leaders in communities and try as much as they can to use the media to advertise in different languages. I think these are some of the effective measures they can do. And when they do it early, I think that's better compared to this 8-day timeline that they are going to have starting from Monday.
Thank you very much, Biodun Kaudiali, Economics and Tax Manager at PricewaterhouseCoopers. It was a pleasure having you on the news. Thank you.